Thanks for joining us for KSAT News at 9. I'm Courtney Friedman. Coming up, local leaders issuing new policies to combat the spread of the coronavirus. We'll be joined by a San Antonio emergency room doctor who will answer your COVID-19 questions. And tonight, we're taking a closer look at the arts programs in our area hit hardest by funding cuts. But first, there are now 918 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Bexar County. That's an increase of 28 from yesterday. Here's a look at how those cases break down. 705 of those diagnosed are still sick. 76 are currently hospitalized, with 51 in the ICU and 30 on ventilators. 176 patients have now recovered. That's up 30 from yesterday. The death toll stands at 37. Some big news: the city of San Antonio and Bexar County have both amended their emergency orders and are now mandating that people over the age of 10 years old wear face coverings when in public. Before tonight, it was just a recommendation. These orders are effective immediately, and businesses have 3 days to provide masks to employees. There are some exceptions, though, including for people exercising outside, drivers alone in their own cars, while pumping gas, and while in a building that requires surveillance, like a bank. Face coverings can be homemade masks, a bandana, scarf, or handkerchief. It's strongly recommended that you leave medical masks and N95 respirators for healthcare providers and first responders. Just a reminder, a face mask is meant to be an additional line of defense and is not meant to take the place of frequent hand washing and social distancing. The order also requires that retailers that are still open, like grocery stores and gas stations, limit occupancy to 25% of their normal limit. And golf courses are allowed to operate with some restrictions. Social distancing must be maintained and no equipment rentals are allowed. Also new tonight, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg and Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolff announced the creation of what they're calling a COVID-19 health transition team. It's a team of health experts tasked with developing a plan to move our city and county out of the social distancing phase. Tiffany Huertas gives us a look at what they'll be doing.
I think the idea is to look at what we know and get expert opinion, because we don't have a whole lot of evidence at this point, right?
Dr. Junda Wu is part of the members of the new COVID-19 health transition team.
The idea is, what's the best way to reopen while minimizing the risk of more infections.
The mayor says they are looking for guidance as they make decisions moving forward.
How we relieve some of the social distancing or go back into it based on what protocols are needed. What kind of testing capacity do we need? How are we isolating folks that might turn up sick? And ensuring that we're not making these decisions arbitrarily, but we're doing so to prevent another wave of infection occurring.
The team hasn't held its first meeting yet, but the goal is to develop a health transition plan by April 27th.
A lot of what we've been doing right now is simply doing the crisis response, but there has been a national conversation now about, well, when does the economy open back up? When can businesses start running? And we know we can't do that arbitrarily. We can't do that carelessly.
Tomorrow, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is expected to reveal his plan to reopen businesses in the state. Earlier this week, he said his plan will include ways to stimulate the economy and get people back to work, while also making sure to contain the spread of COVID-19.
The recommendations from our medical professionals is what should guide policymakers in determining how we ease out of or back into social distancing requirements.
For the 9, Tiffany Huertas.
Besides Dr. Wu, there are several other health experts who will be serving on that team. Among them, a frequent guest on KSAT News at 9 during our San Antonio question segments, Dr. Ruth Berggren with UT Health San Antonio. It's not just local and state leaders thinking of how to approach reopening the economy. Today, President Donald Trump gave governors a 3-phase roadmap for economic recovery. The new guidelines are aimed at easing restrictions in areas with low transmission of the coronavirus while holding the line in harder hit locations. Today, City Council proposed the creation of a $15.8 million COVID-19 emergency housing assistance program. The money comes from the San Antonio Housing Trust, the Affordable Housing Budget, and some federal funds. It will help residents with expenses like rent, mortgages, and utilities. The city would also expand the program to help pay for gas, groceries, and even internet expenses.
We think it's about $10,000, and that assumes that they would each get on average about $1,500 in assistance through either rent or mortgage assistance.
Recipients would need to show proof of a hardship like job loss or a medical emergency. The program would end after July. The council will vote on approval of the new program next week. These images captured during last week's San Antonio Food Bank mega distribution event served as an upsetting reminder of the economic toll this pandemic is having in our community. Last Thursday, the food bank ended up feeding more than 5,000 families. Tomorrow, the food bank is holding another mega distribution event, but it'll be scaled down. The focus will feed 2,000 families, and pre-registration is required.
Our mega distribution tomorrow is at the Alamo Dome. Pre-registration is required and it's full. Nothing we hate more than somebody be turned away, but we're only taking so much food, and so we know that if more come, that we won't be able to serve them all.
There are other avenues to consider if you are in need, like the food bank's network of pantries. The hotline to call is on your screen, 210-431-8326. Tomorrow, during our nightly San Antonio Questions segment, we'll be joined by the food bank's CEO, Eric Cooper. If you have a question you'd like to ask him, you can submit that on our website. Just go to ksat.com/SAQ. Before the pandemic, the San Antonio International Airport was taking in about 10.3 million passengers a year. During this time of the year, they would typically see about 16,000 passengers a day. Now, on average, only 700 passengers are using the airport each day. So how does the airport stay open and cover operating costs? They've had to get creative, changing job titles, cutting some projects, and putting others on hold. But some projects are still being pushed forward.
Some basic changes to reduce airport expenditures, closing some bathrooms and roping off some seating that won't have to be cleaned every day with high-grade products, and keeping as much staff as possible by moving them around.
Redeploying some staff that typically don't do janitorial type cleaning.
Airport Chief Administration Officer Mookie Patel says there are 5 non-mandatory maintenance projects being canceled. Then there are about 20 projects, $16 million worth, that will eventually happen but are on hold, including 2 gate projects and badge and ID office expansions. But Patel says some airport projects must continue.
One being airfield projects, taxiways, taxiway runway improvement projects. Those are federally funded. So really, of a 100% project, 75% comes from the federal government. There's safety and security related projects like a perimeter fence project.
One project that will continue in a more segmented way is the airport's largest, the Strategic Development or Master Plan, an airport transformation meant to last 20 to 30 years. There are 3 phases: landside, things like roadways and parking; terminal, which includes gate, restrooms, and restaurants; and then the airfield. All will be slowed down eventually by the community input component mandated by the FAA, almost all of which has been done in person.
Could you maybe just pivot to only online?
We could. We're going to take the pulse of our council and direction from our city leaders of what representation, what their representatives feel that needs to happen.
The airfield will slow the most since it's the furthest along and ready for input.
There needs to be outreach related to how the airfield will operate, which runways, where they will go in the future, and how aircraft will operate on those facilities.
Other phases need more work before community input, but will continue at a slower pace. For terminal, they're still studying passenger numbers, and for landside, they're still calculating use of roadways, parking, and curbside needs. But it's tough to count increases in passengers or rideshare users when the airport is basically empty.
The master plan won't necessarily need to be rewritten. We'll just follow a different trajectory for a period of time.
A lot's up in the air, but Patel believes the airport will bounce back after the pandemic.
And Patel says a lot of the progress also depends on federal, state, and local funding over the next 4 or 5 years. But just this week, the airport received $39.7 million as part of the federal CARES Act. That money will be used for debt payments to keep the facility running, paying utilities, payroll, and part of the master plan. The federal government was already paying for 75% of the master plan, and now the CARES grant is covering the rest. Let's take a look now at the COVID-19 cases in our surrounding counties. Hayes, Comal, and Wilson counties are all seeing a rise in cases with 117, 43, and 19 respectively. Atascosa has 9 cases, Medina County with 15. Guadalupe is reporting 53 cases, Kendall 14, and Bandera County now has 3. Statewide, there are now more than 16,000 cases and 393 deaths. Around the country, we have 667,000 cases and nearly 33,000 deaths. And globally, the case count has now surpassed 2.1 million, with more than 143,000 deaths. Turning to tonight's 9 at 9, Florida police finding out babies abandoned years apart are related. Prescriptions for anti-anxiety medications are up, plus a roundup of how COVID-19 is impacting communities across the world.
Here's tonight's 9 at 9. Police say a tip about a corpse in a shed led officers to 17 bodies in a nursing home morgue. Andover Subacute and Rehab Center 2 is one of New Jersey's largest nursing homes. Officers did not find a body in the shed, but while they were there, employees asked them to help with bodies in the morgue, which the New York Times reports is only meant to hold 4 bodies. The police chief says the facility was overwhelmed and short-staffed. It's unclear if the deaths are COVID-19 related, but the state's investigating. 3 newborn babies abandoned at the same Florida apartment complex years apart are siblings with the same mother and father. An Orlando detective discovered the children were related after ordering a DNA test. The first baby was left outside the doorstep of a resident in 2016, the second one in 2017, and the third in July of 2019. The most recent child was found with a note that said in part, quote, "His dad tried to kill us," end quote. Now police are trying to track down the mother to see if she's in danger. More than 400,000 people could die from the coronavirus in Japan if efforts to contain the spread are not increased. The warning comes from a panel of experts from Japan's health ministry. They say if nothing is done, 850,000 patients will need ventilators. Prescriptions for anti-anxiety medication were up 34% mid-March, according to a new report. The increase in usage was nearly twice as high for women than it was for men. It's a sharp reversal from the pattern over the last 5 years, during which the use of medications declined more than 12%. South Korean health officials say 141 patients who recovered from COVID-19 tested positive again. It's unknown why they retested positive, and the country's investigating. Most experts think it's unlikely someone will be reinfected right after recovering. It's possibly an issue with testing or varying amounts of viral RNA in the body, which the test looks for could explain it. Mexico will extend their stay-at-home measures until May 30th. The safety measures include keeping schools closed, practicing safe distance, and protecting the high-risk population. The Notre Dame's Great Bell rang earlier today to mark a year since a devastating fire tore through the cathedral in France. It also honored the healthcare workers and first responders putting their lives on the line to fight the coronavirus pandemic. The bell ringer wore a face mask to protect himself from the virus in one of the world's hardest-hit countries. Animal shelter staff and volunteers in Florida celebrated a very special moment this week. For the first time ever at Florida's Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control, one of their kennels has been completely emptied of animals. They say the milestone was made possible with the help of the entire community. And take a look at this. A Pennsylvania woman caught video of this groundhog eating a big slice of pizza. She says the rodent was eating the pizza for about an hour on her porch. To read more about these stories, head to KSAT.com.
Hi there, meteorologist Katie Blake here, and I have the pleasure today of bringing you your forecast from here at the San Antonio Botanical Garden. Now, of course, like many other locations across the city, the state, and the world, the Botanical Garden has been closed because of the COVID-19 outbreak. But the garden spans 38 acres, and those 38 acres have to be kept up during the closure, because when things open back up and when you're able to come back and enjoy the sights here at the garden, things have to be in tip-top shape. So the garden has been maintaining some of their essential staff, many gardeners that come in every day to maintain the vegetation that sits on this 38 acres. So rest assured that when things open back up, it is going to be ready and waiting for you to come enjoy. Now, during the closure, the Botanical Garden has been doing a great job with a digital and social media campaign, #BloomsToYou, because they are bringing all the beautiful color and blooms here at the garden right to you at home. They're doing that through different social media posts and through a weekly email that you'll get. You can sign up for that email, go to their website, sabot.org, and you'll get that email each week, and there are a ton of photos, videos, how-tos, things for the kids, different recipes, even how to make your own colorful margarita at home. Just a lot there to keep you entertained, and a a sight for sore eyes. If you haven't been able to get out and come see the color of the garden, you may have been missing it. So make sure you check out #blooms2you. It's a great way to just keep things cheery and colorful during this kind of weird time. All right, let's get to your forecast. This was a good day to come out because this was kind of our last nice weather day for the week. Things will be changing tomorrow at the hands of a cold front that will arrive in the afternoon. That cold front will set us up for what's going to be a cloudy and cool Saturday. Things will warm back up on Sunday, and things will clear out, and it's going to get pretty toasty for the second half of the weekend. So first glance, here's your day tomorrow. Unlike what we've seen this week, we are going to start off overcast on your Friday morning with a little bit of drizzle and some sprinkles possible. Then in the afternoon, a cold front will move on through. As soon as that front arrives, we'll start to see our temperatures tumble. And with that frontal boundaries arrival, we'll have a chance of some isolated showers, but things will be staying pretty gray through the day tomorrow. Here's a look at Futurecast. So tomorrow morning, first part of the day, things will just be overcast with some drizzle and sprinkles possible. That'll be true through midday as well. And then in the afternoon, here in San Antonio, it'll be after lunchtime when that front comes through, a 20% chance of a passing shower, things turning cooler and breezy in the late afternoon and evening hours. We get into Saturday. Behind this front, we're not going to clear out, so things will be staying cloudy and cool into Saturday. High temperatures on Saturday only in the low 60s, and a few more isolated showers will be possible during the day as well. Check out your Sunday though. This is where things really get interesting. We're going to have a chance of some storms in the morning briefly. Then things will clear out really quickly and warm up big time on Sunday. So a tale of two weekends coming up. We'll go from the low 60s on Saturday into the upper 80s on Sunday. And I do want to show you what Futurecast looks like in regards to the storms that could rumble through early on Sunday morning. We're expecting a lot of this activity to be north of San Antonio, but we can't rule out an isolated morning thunderstorm in and around San Antonio early on Sunday. But things will clear out by the afternoon. We'll see a lot of sunshine, and it is going to get toasty to finish up the weekend. Next week looks very warm. High temperatures staying in the mid to upper 80s with another chance of some isolated showers and storms by the middle of the week.
Thank you so much, Katie. Stay with us. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Welcome back. Separating the facts from fiction surrounding this pandemic, we're continuing this new portion of the show where we bring viewer questions about COVID-19 to the experts. Tonight, we're once again speaking with Dr. Robert A. Frolickstein, an emergency room doctor working right here in San Antonio. Doctor, thank you for joining us on this Thursday, as you always do. And the question I always start out with is, what are you seeing in the emergency room right now?
So we are seeing some cases, not a dramatic increase in the number of new cases we're seeing, which is great news. And what's also great news is we're starting to see some discharges, some patients recovering and getting discharged from the hospital. So our overall number of cases hospitalized is remaining pretty constant. That's great news. There's been some incredible work done by our ICU teams, and just amazing work that they're doing to get people through this virus.
You're seeing some success stories.
Yes, indeed.
When we talked a week ago, you were also concerned that maybe people who you would normally see in the emergency room might not be coming in. Is that still your concern?
I'm still concerned about that. Our volumes are still about half as many patients as we normally see. So we just still urge you, please come in. We have processes. Everyone is screened immediately upon arrival of whether we're suspicious they may have COVID or not. Those that we have no suspicion are segregated. They're put in a separate area of the emergency department than those that may have COVID. And that's even if you have an ankle fracture and you come in. If you have cough, cold, and we're worried about you having COVID, you're going to be separated over here. So we're doing everything we can to keep everyone that comes to the patient to the emergency department safe, as well as our staff safe.
All right. Next viewer question. When you see our local numbers, what is your reaction? Are we on the right track in this flattening the curve that we've heard so much about?
I think so. I think that's the only conclusion that can be drawn. And, you know, the flattening of the curve certainly decreases the amount of cases we see at one time, and it also pushes the peak away. And we keep seeing our projected peak being pushed down the road, which is good because the overall numbers are then much, much less. So I'm very encouraged with the very small growth in the number of new cases we're seeing here.
Mayor Ron Nirenberg and the county judge made an announcement today. The city and county now requiring people over the age of 10 that they wear face coverings when in public. Is this the right move in your opinion?
I think so. And again, I think it's an extension of the social distancing. That social distancing, or I've actually heard this term physical distancing, which I like a lot better because we should be talking to each other and communicating. But anyway, I digress. Physical distancing helps flatten this curve, and we're seeing the success of that. Wearing face masks is simply an extension of that. Yeah. It's really hard to be physically distant from people at the grocery store or those types of places. That's why I think the masks are a great idea.
If I test positive for the flu, is it possible I also have COVID-19?
It's certainly possible. We don't know how frequent that may be. There are some case reports out of, I think it was Stanford, where as many as 20% of the COVID positive patients also tested positive for another viral illness like the flu or any of the other viral illnesses that are out there. So it's certainly possible.
This next one says, hi, we are staying home with our families and pets. Is there a danger in getting too close to our pets and letting them lick our face?
Well, assuming your pets are also house pets and they're not having frequent contact with other animals, I would say the chances are zero. There has been, I guess, a case of a few animals. I think there was a tiger that tested positive. But I think the odds are just overwhelmingly low that your pet is going to give you COVID. So there's a lot of things to worry about. I don't think that should be one of the things we ought to be worrying about.
We talked about patient safety off the top of this segment, and the next question is a personal one for you. How worried are you about personal safety when you go to work?
Well, it's a unique time, and I've never been fearful going to work, and I wouldn't say I'm fearful now, but I'm extra cautious. And I have the protective equipment available, and I think taking reasonable precautions that we do is going to protect us. But it's an unknown, and unknowns are always scary things.
I'd like to give you the last word, so you take the floor, and what do you want our viewers to know tonight?
Well, thanks, Steve. We hear, and we're so appreciative of all the things the community is doing for the nurses and physicians, the people working at the hospital. That is outstanding. I've heard reference to us as being heroes, and we really appreciate that sentiment. We've signed up for this job, and so we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. I think the real heroes are you all at home, because you are making a big sacrifice by not going out, not congregating, and that is what's making a difference. So I thank you for that, and I urge you to continue with that practice.
Dr. Robert Frolickstein, local emergency room doctor. As always, I appreciate it, and thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll be right back.
Many Americans have been provided some much needed relief in the form of federal stimulus checks, but according to some media reports, not everyone is seeing that money hit their account. San Antonio-based USAA was keeping the money that was sent to some customers who had overdrawn accounts. After the reports came out about that practice, the company backtracked. In an email sent to KSAT, a USAA spokesperson said in part, quote, USAA will pause the collection of a negative account balance existing at the time their stimulus payment was deposited for 90 days. The spokesperson also went on to say, we will apply this policy retroactively to any member accounts with a negative balance at the time the first stimulus checks were deposited, so that members will have access to their stimulus funds, end quote. Here are today's top stories. The U.S. Department of Labor is reporting another 5 million workers filed for unemployment benefits last week. This brings the total number of Americans who have filed for unemployment over the last 4 weeks to 22 million. It's the largest and most dramatic rise in claims on record since the department began tracking it in 1967. Tenet Healthcare, parent company of Baptist Hospitals, is furloughing more than 2% of its workforce across the U.S. The company says the move is to trim costs because of limited activity amid the pandemic and to divert those funds to other COVID-19 resources. Tenet owns several Baptist hospital locations in San Antonio. Maverick Distillery on Broadway is the latest distillery to start selling hand sanitizer. Much of the hand sanitizer is being donated to first responders. The distillery's owners say the only problem so far is keeping up with the demand. Meanwhile, Maverick is also continuing to sell its whiskey and beer curbside. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at how cutbacks due to the coronavirus are affecting local arts programs across the city. More than 36 programs are set to lose money. RJ Marquez breaks down the numbers.
There is going to be a 20% reduction for the remainder of the fiscal year across the board on the arts agencies.
The San Antonio arts community, already hurt by lack of patrons and closures, received the news last week their budget would be cut through the 2019-2020 fiscal year, which ends September 30th. The cutbacks were not entirely unexpected. These arts agencies get their funding from the city's hotel occupancy tax, which has been decimated by the pandemic. 37 programs in total will be affected. The Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center will see the biggest hit. 20% of its budget equals $114,968. The Whitty Museum is set to lose $99,199, while the San Antonio Museum of Art is projected to lose $69,400. Music programs that will take a major hit include the San Antonio Symphony, which is expected to lose more than $76,000. The Youth Orchestra of San Antonio is set to lose more than $47,000. SAC, a nonprofit that helps develop young artists, is projected to lose nearly $48,000. It's even tougher for smaller programs, many of which depend on this funding just to remain operational. They could close entirely. All told, nearly $1 million will be lost in funding for local arts and music programs. Nierenberg hopes these cutbacks are only temporary. He said city and county leaders are looking for ways to access emergency relief funds for such an important element of San Antonio's cultural history.
There was a famous adage, during wartime, people would cut arts funding, and someone said, so, well, why are you fighting? What are you fighting for then? Arts and culture are such a vital and critical part of this community. We want to protect them as well.
For the 9, RJ Marquez.